Who has the first question? We'll start with Brendan on your right.
Giancarlo, in an interview with MLB Network,
He's against the wall.
I am on your
over
right-hand
here,
side.
Yes.
With MLB Network, you talked about how you approach big moments. You take smaller moments and try to bring them all into one moment. Just how did you learn how to do that, and when did it start to click to you that you felt comfortable in these clutch type situations, in these big moments?
I had to experience a few, fail in a few, and just continue to evolve and learn, try to peel back everything, why did I do this? Why didn't this one work out, that one work out? What was the thought process? What was the preparation? And just try to find the best formula, and that always evolves. That's always going to evolve, and just what I try to do.
And alternately, what do you think has made this team so good in elimination situations this year, with you guys' backs against the wall, like again tonight?
Just knowing who we are, trusting who we are, and I guess we don't mind the hard way sometimes. It's not ideal, but just being calm, being comfortable, and playing our game, just not trying to do too much, and
Go to the second row on your far right, Meredith.
Hey, Giancarlo, how different, if at all, is the preparation when you know you're going to see a lot of guys tonight on the other side?
You go over similar things, just talk about who's facing before, what we have on past at-bats, anything that stands out from the left and right side. We've had a few good looks at them this series and obviously during the year, so you take all those and come up with the best plan.
Just going back to last night for a minute, just how would you describe Aaron Judge's night as a whole and what he means to this team? It seems like as he goes, this team often goes.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's exactly what we needed. The reason I'm here right now, the reason why we have another game tonight. He stepped up when we needed him most, and he'll be right there again today.
Stay in the same row with John on the aisle.
Sticking with Aaron for a second, I mean, you've been around for a lot of his big moments. You've heard the stadium in a lot of those moments. How would you compare it to the sound in the stadium and also just the vibe in the dugout when that happened last night?
That was a cool one because no one really knew. You knew it was far enough to go out, but you didn't know if it was gonna wrap the pole or not. So that's always a cool moment. You're bending with the ball a little bit until a big eruption of seeing it hit the pole. So it was cool. Just an awesome moment, and huge for everything.
First row on your left, Gary.
Giancarlo, the trajectory machine, just how helpful of a tool is that for you personally, and is that something maybe you spend a little extra time with when you know you're going to face a bunch of pitchers in a bullpen game?
It's great to see at least shapes on it, even if you don't take a bunch of swings, but just to see release point and shapes, and it's bigs. And with a bullpen day, it'll be very useful today.
Peter?
Hey, Giancarlo. Last night when Judge came up in that situation beforehand, you spoke to him about what to expect from Varland. Just what was that conversation kind of like before he went up there?
Similar to kind of what Meredith asked. It's like, how do you prepare? It's those type of things, any tidbit that someone that's faced them a day ago, 2 days ago, a month ago, that info is useful, and you gotta know how to deliver it in a quick little bit. You got the clock winding down, so however you give them the best information.
And maybe just more broadly, just you and Judge have played together 8 years now. Just how valuable is the relationship you two have? Similar profile as player. Just you guys have been able to trade notes all these years.
Yeah, it's been awesome. We know each other's game inside and out. Like I was just saying, how you deliver a scouting report. You got to know each each person how they like to receive information, how what works for them, what doesn't. So we understand all that, and we're able to be professional, joke when we need, do all the things to help boost our play, and it's just been awesome to see the evolution over the years.
Brian in the same row here.
Giancarlo, you've been out there taking a lot of early BP. You did that last postseason too. What's your main focus when you're out there? How are things feeling right now?
Just get my balance and timing, and make sure if there's any improvement to make, any little click, any swing to completely lock me in for the night ahead, and just get ahead of it.
How are things feeling right now?
We're ready to go. We got a backs against the wall game again, and we'll go get them in a few hours here.
We'll stay there with Chris and then Joel.
What's impressed you the most with Cam since he was called up in the middle of the summer?
For me, his demeanor. I mean, from start one, just how comfortable he looked and unfazed, really. And he seemed built for moments, playoff moments and big moments. So, yeah, we'll be it'll be fun to watch again tonight.
Was that something that you saw in that Seattle start when he made his debut? That he was built for the playoff moments?
You don't see it right away like that. You see, you got to have some adversity. You got to be out there when you're not feeling your best. When you don't have all of his pitches, how does he navigate? How does he figure it out? And those are the type of things that you see and watch him prep and navigate through to be ready for a time like this.
Against the wall on your right, near Meredith, Joel.
Giancarlo, you've generally hit the ball very hard this postseason without the rewards that usually go with hitting it that hard. Even for an accomplished hitter, does it get frustrating when you don't get results, when you are probably doing everything right?
Oh yeah, I mean more in the postseason than during the seasons, because each game is your season pretty much potentially on the line. So it's frustrating, but you got to understand what adjustments to make, what not to make, and just keep at it. It can't be that way forever, and got another opportunity tonight. Yeah. I'd say I've done a decent job of hitting it hard. It's just I need it in the air to be more effective. Obviously, they find holes sometimes. I haven't. But, yeah, just any way to be effective. And it needs to be, putting the ball in play hard with runners in scoring position is also very important. So you got to put all those together. And, again, another opportunity tonight.
Right up front on your right, Ron.
You spoke about giving Aaron concise information with the clock ticking down. How do you do that? You say first pitch likely this, ahead in the count that, behind in the count this?
Well, we always like to talk about what's he going to do on first pitch and why this and this and that. So, we give a first pitch idea. We give, maybe first three pitches and then adjust from there. It kind of depends. It depends. Is it in division, out division? Have we seen them before? Have we not? It's so much that goes into it that maybe you saw something a year and a half ago in a big spot that he did now. It's so much.
What did you say in the instance last night?
Hit a 3-run homer.
And then another. With Devin, when he went through struggles, as someone who's been here for a while and seen players go through similar and fans get on them, what reassuring things did you say to him?
That's one to keep pushing, and it's cool to see him get some appreciation, and for how hard he's worked all year. It doesn't matter. You can say whatever you want, result based, but it's not from lack of work. So. It's cool to see that, and especially in the biggest time of the year. And yeah, you gotta love that. Anything to add confidence to a very important piece to our bullpen is big.
We'll take a last question from Shy, far back in the right center aisle.
Right in the back, Giancarlo. Beyond the obvious, when Guerrero is having the type of series that he's having for the Blue Jays, when Judge is providing the counterpunch, what does that do for you guys as a group?
We got to neutralize him first of all. But yeah, I mean, it's awesome to see juggernauts go back and forth. We gotta be on the better end of that. But yeah, I mean, it's two of the best in the game, and in the biggest moment, and that's what baseball's about. That's what the highest competition is about. So it's cool.
All right, thank you so much, Big G. Appreciate it. All right, we'll get started with Aaron. Who has the first question? We'll start with Phil in the second row on your left.
Coach, yesterday was almost the tale of two mini games. In the first two games of the series, when the Yankees fell behind, it looked like the team was pressing a little bit to try to get out of that hole. Yesterday, it looked like typical great Yankee patience at the plate. Was that a conscious effort for the Yankees to be a bit more patient and wait for their pitch, or was that just?
I mean, we're that's who we are. We're a team that typically works the count and is not going to chase a lot and going to make you earn it. That doesn't mean we don't have days where we go out there and we're attacking early because we think that's the way to go. So, but in their DNA, they do a really good job of making it difficult. And I thought, obviously the bats last night were really good.
Other questions for Aaron? We'll go to Max on your left.
Aaron, Judge and Stanton both talked about a moment last night before the 3-run homer where Giancarlo was sharing his insight on Varland. But I know that happens with a lot of players in the dugout. Just how much of a strength is that for this team? And are they the best at it with all of the clubs that you've managed so far?
Yeah, it's really, they communicate really well with one another. I felt like they did that last year too, though, frankly. But there's no question that they almost overshare with each other, lefties with lefties, righties with righties typically, just to see, if things line up with, what we talked about, as far as what kind of pitches they have, what they're doing. So they get real specific with one another, and I think it's a neat part of the culture that they've really fostered there.
Other questions? We'll go to Dave.
Aaron, the rotation had been such a strength for you guys during the regular season and certainly towards the last month or so. How surprising is it to see the kind of performance that these guys have done through the first 3 games, and even to have another game to continue to play despite having an ERA of almost 17, I think?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I mean, our rotation has been, huge for us this year, and especially as we really started to play well in the final 6-8 weeks of the season. It started a lot with our starting pitching, being able to give us just, whether it was a high-end, max 6 or 7 inning or whether it was a 5 inning, just, our starting pitching was giving us a real chance to win ball games every day. So, that's the nature of the postseason sometimes. It's not going to be perfect. The other guys are really good. The other teams are really good, and the Blue Jays have done a good job against our starters here these first 3 games of the series. So hopefully we can turn that around with a good one tonight and push this thing to back to Toronto.
Standing on your right, a little beyond the first row, Ian.
Stanton obviously arrived here as a quote-unquote franchise player, and now Judge is that figure for your team. What does it say about Giancarlo that he still has that kind of relationship with Aaron?
Yeah. G's such a stud person. He's different than a lot of guys, but he is really accountable, really thoughtful, all about winning, and I have so much respect for the person and the way he goes about things and the thoughtfulness with which he goes about things. And, him and Aaron have obviously formed a tight bond over the years. They communicate really well with one another. I think they help lead this team in their own kind of way. That's different. But I think, even though they're big and they're both stars and power hitters and stuff, they are very different too in how they go about it and how they do it and their swings and their approaches a little bit. But that being said, they can certainly relate to one another and they share really well information with each other.
Far back in the right center aisle, Shy.
Hey, Aaron, within the dynamics of a 5-game series, when Guerrero's as hot as he is, when you have Aaron Judge who can counter that, how does that impact your team?
I mean, you're going to come across great players in the postseason. That's the reality of it. So you got to be able to navigate it, and obviously Vlad, who's hurt us over the years in the regular season, is off to a great start these first few games. We did get him out 2 times in a row, which was nice to end that game. But look, he's one of the great hitters in the game, and someone that we got to make sure we execute at the highest level to if we're going to have success against them. So, but that's the nature of the beast in the postseason. You're going to go up against great players. You're going to go up against hot players that are locked in and kind of feeling it, and you got to be able to navigate it to keep moving.
And how do you look? What's your outlook on using relievers multiple times within a postseason series, knowing that the more times the other team sees them, the more information they have in a short, concentrated span?
Yeah, I mean, that's a factor on some level. On how much, I don't know for sure. But the reality is you're going to have to get big outs with key guys down there if you're going to move on, if you're going to win games. And so those are some uncomfortable situations sometimes, but battles you got to win if you're going to move on.
Second row on your right, Aaron. Nate.
Aaron, when Cam faced Toronto here in September afterward, he had a little rocky outing, and we asked you what you saw out of him afterwards, and you said same guy, couldn't tell any difference. How about after last week against the Red Sox, a performance like that? Do you notice any change in Cam? What are you expecting out of him tonight?
No. Regardless of what happens tonight result-wise, he's going to walk out there with a lot of confidence, expecting to be successful. I know that, and I'm quite certain he probably slept really well last night, and can't wait to go compete. And so from my standpoint, there's some comfort in that, and knowing that if he goes out and has his stuff and executes, he's got a chance to have a really good night.
John?
Last week we were talking about Cam having the type of postseason outing that Yankees fans remember forever. Obviously, Aaron's home run last night. You have your home run. As you're going through these moments and things that kind of all last forever in a sense, I mean, as much pressure and as much intensity as there is, do you notice in that moment that you're seeing something super special as it's happening?
Yeah, to some degree. I mean, you are so kind of locked into everything that's going on, but you're not completely unaware of meaningful things happening in big situations for important people. So I think on some level, I don't know if you appreciate it necessarily while you're going through it and while you're in it, but you have an awareness of it.
One or two last ones, if there are any. All right, Aaron, thanks so much. Appreciate it.